Democratic Senator Chris Coons, who co-chairs a caucus dedicated to the issue. Senator Coons, you are the co-chair of the US-UK Trade Caucus in the Senate. I suspect that many Brits would be surprised, perhaps pleasantly surprised, to learn that there was such a thing. What did you make of the President's comments yesterday, that the deal that Theresa May is trying to get through Parliament is good for the European Union but bad for US-UK trade relations?
Well, my understanding is that that's just not true, that it will be possible for us to reach a US-UK FTA if this agreement is in fact ratified by Parliament on December 11th. This is one of, sadly, many instances where President Trump has not been as helpful as he could be to Theresa May as she attempts to get ratification in the United Kingdom of this Brexit agreement.
Perhaps not helpful to her politically, but he has a point in the sense that the closer the UK ties itself to EU regulations, the harder it makes it to have a free trade agreement with the US, which has different trading relations and priorities and regulations.
The understanding I've gotten from a number of sources is that this understanding with the EU and the UK makes it perfectly clear that the UK has the power to enter into free trade agreements. So it's not that they can't, it's not that we can't, between the United States and the United Kingdom, close and trusted and long-term allies, reach a new free trade agreement. And part of my leadership with Senator Portman of this caucus is to show an enthusiasm on the part of many of us in the Senate for reinforcing this long-standing relationship with a new free trade agreement. It just complicates some of the details of how it will be negotiated.
I've had American trade negotiators suggest to me that it would be easier if Britain crashed out of the European Union, if there was no trade deal and no customs alignment with the EU, that it would actually make it simpler to have some kind of meaningful US-UK free trade agreement. Do you think that's what the President wants? Does he basically want a hard Brexit?
He may want a hard Brexit. I don't think that's in the best interest of the United Kingdom, of its people, its economy, its relationships with Europe. And as one of the closest allies of the United Kingdom over decades, if not centuries, the United States should want what is in the best interest of the United Kingdom. And I think a hard Brexit would have some significant negative consequences for the UK's economy, for its people, for its security. So that may be what President Trump is really pushing at. But I think his mischaracterization of this deal will not make it easier for Prime Minister May to secure ratification in the Parliament December 11th.
Do you see Britain's departure from the European Union in any way affecting UK-US intelligence sharing?
I would hope not. We have the closest security, military-to-military intelligence relationship the world, and it's important to us to sustain that. There are also important U.S. security relationships with NATO, with EU partner countries, with Canada, with New Zealand, with Australia, with other countries that also enjoy long and close and historic ties with the United Kingdom.
But, Senator, if the UK is excluded from some EU intelligence sharing systems, would that therefore devalue Britain in any way in terms of its relationship with the US?
Well, the United Kingdom has an exceptionally capable and robust intelligence service that has access to a whole lot of both human and signals intelligence. It's of great value to its close allies and partners, and in particular, we here in the United States. So I see your point. We would have to find ways to work around that diminution in access to EU sources, but I frankly think there are still plenty of reasons why the United States and United Kingdom would intend to continue to be very closely allied on critical national security issues.
Okay, Senator Chris Coons, thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you, Katie.
Some really interesting points in that. Georgina Wright is from the Europe programme of the International Relations think tank Chatham House. She's